So I've said before that there are some similarities between Trumpism and Maoism. Most notably, both appealed to idealism and national security to try to do things that kind of went against economic principles. But we also need to contrast the two periods. Contrary to what dogmatic Marxist theory believes, the Chinese farmers in the 1950s weren't really actually on board Mao's plan. They needed to be persuaded, sometimes through force. But they were still very different than the American population at the moment. They could have been persuaded by the dream of China becoming as industrialized as Japan, the Soviet Union, Europe, and North America. And they also could have dreamed of basically a better life. They had never experienced real industrial society. Now contrast this with Americans. Most Americans have become used to living in a country based off the service industry. What I mean is office jobs using the computers. Of course, there are many people who blame outsourcing of jobs for them losing their jobs over the past 20, 40 years. And they would love for manufacturing and factories to come back to the country. But the Americans who have become used to cheap goods from other countries and working in an office, will they be in the mindset to go work in factories like some people in the United States government wants them to right now? It's going to be very hard to persuade them. The other difference is that in the 1950s, we didn't have borders that were as open as today, nor did we have the internet. So if America wants to go into a position where they are trying to make everything themselves, where products are a lot more expensive, how do you think people will feel looking on the internet at other countries that are still living in globalization, getting their products more cheaply? Will they remain, work in the factories? Will the goal of national rejuvenation and national security be enough for them? Why would people who have been trained in university and lived working jobs for 10, 20 years in the service industry suddenly throw up their arms and go work at a factory doing manual labor for more expensive products?